Hello, we've had a really tough month here at Homegrown Veg in the bucket garden. We've had wall-to-wall sunshine for the whole of the month. In fact, we've had more sunshine in May than we've ever had before since records began. We've had that much sunshine. And if you've ever grown anything in containers, you'll know that it's key that containers are kept moist. You can't let them dry out, and that's what these buckets have been wanting to do, dry out. So what I did, and you can't do this with a square foot garden, and you can't do this with a raised bed, but you can do it with a square foot bucket garden. I moved all the buckets out of the garden up against the property and got them out of the sun as best I could. And earlier on in the month, before the sunshine actually kicked in, at the back end of the previous month, we got some biting winds across the garden, and that was wanting to destroy some of these veg. So again, I'd moved them up against the property. So I've just brought them out today. I'm going to do a comparison video. You can compare the amount of growth in 1 month in this square foot bucket garden. And apparently the hot sunny weather's behind us now, so I'll rebuild the square foot bucket garden, but not today. I've had a busy day today, but yeah, I'm going to show you these individually. I'll show you them last month and as they are today, and you should be able to see that there's a month's growth gone into these vegetables. Okay, so if you're square foot bucket gardening, if it gets too hot, move the buckets. If it gets too windy, move the buckets. If you're in a raised bed or a standard square foot garden, you're stuffed. Okay, I'm going now to cut into the introduction I did a month ago, just to get you up to speed, and then I'm going to dovetail this into some old footage, and you'll be able to make that comparison. Hello, it's the end of April, beginning of May here at Homegrown Veg in the United Kingdom, and this is my square foot bucket garden. If you're a regular of mine, you'll know this, but because there are quite a few new subscribers coming to Homegrown Veg, probably because of the lockdown, and these might be new gardeners, I just want to explain what this square foot bucket garden concept is. So these are ex-cut flower water buckets. They're 10-inch diameter and 10 inches deep. They have holes drilled in the bottom to make them into pots. So these are the pots I'm growing in, these are the flower buckets I'm growing in, and there are 16 in a pattern 4 by 4, and that's a 4 foot by 4 foot footprint. If you've got a 4 foot by 4 foot footprint, you might be able to do this. Now, it's fair to say now that some of these vegetables have just been brought out of the greenhouse for this photo opportunity. The carrots in front, the beetroot, celery, the parsnips, the lettuce are all still in the greenhouse because it's still too cold to set this square foot bucket garden up proper. But the other vegetables, they're all outdoors now, and hopefully in a month or so's time we'll get everything out of the greenhouse, we'll rebuild this square foot bucket garden, and we'll take it through to its final conclusion, and hopefully that's to get some vegetables out of all of these buckets. Now, rather than explain what's in each bucket, what I'll do is I'll take a bucket at a time, show you it, tell you what's in it, and then we'll rebuild this square foot bucket garden. Celery, 4 heads of celery. They look as though they're doing quite well. Spring onions. Half a bucket of spring onions. We've eaten the other half, and it's my intention to oversow this bucket. I'm just trying to germinate some seeds at the moment. But spring onions in these 10-inch water buckets, yeah, definitely a winner. Shallots. I've had better looking shallots over the years, and 2 or 3 of these have already thrown seed heads up. So I think these shallots were on a wing and a prayer. We'll keep watering them, we'll keep looking after them, and we'll see what we get. Mint. The mint's still quite vigorous. We just take it as we need it. Yeah, mint, you can definitely grow mint in these small water buckets, definitely. Chives. Well, the chives don't look as good as they did a month ago. We have been taking them as we need them. And so yes, chives in a small water bucket, you can definitely grow those. Radish. Radish, we've eaten them all. In between posting the video a month ago and now, all those radish have been eaten. You'll find when you grow radish, once they start getting to maturity, you need to eat them quickly, otherwise they go woody. But yeah, the radish were a success. But we've got a replacement for those. I'll show you that now. I've got some leeks growing in this bucket. So we take 1 bucket out and we put 1 bucket in. So we've now got leeks in the square foot bucket garden. It'll never hold water. Potato. The potato on the face of it doesn't seem to have grown a lot, but there are some flower buds starting to appear. So yeah, we're okay with this potato. Potato's doing okay. Parsnips. I think there are 4 parsnips in this bucket. 2 of them are looking a bit dodgy, but 2 of them are looking okay. But we wonder what we've got till we harvest these, and I'll take all 4 at once, probably, so we're a few months off that. But yeah, I've grown parsnips in these small buckets before. It can be done. Let's hope this bucket produces. Onions. The onions look as though they're starting to swell out a bit, but at least 2 of them have bolted and gone to seed. There's not much we can do about that. We are where we are, so we'll just keep these guys going to maturity, then we'll harvest them. But you can definitely grow onions in these small buckets. I've done it. There's loads of videos on the channel. Wild strawberry. These are the wild strawberries. I think I've actually maybe overcrowded this bucket. I think there are 4 plants in there, and I think they may be struggling for space. And given the hot sunny weather we've been having lately, I've been putting lots and lots of water onto this bucket. But as you can see, the leaf edges are starting to brown. The strawberries don't look that comfortable, so I'll be surprised if we get any strawberries off this plant. We may get some. There are some on there now, but they're only small. But we'll keep going with the wild strawberry in the bucket. Garlic. Well, I'm not overly impressed by this garlic. We've got 4 cloves growing in there. One looks as though it's not going to make it. So we might end up with just growing 3 garlic plants in this water bucket. But hey, if we get them across the finish line, I'll be well pleased. So we'll keep these guys going. See if we can get some garlic at the end of the growing year. Beetroot. Well, these beetroot plants look a bit bigger than the ones that you saw a month ago, but they don't look as healthy. I'm putting that down to the weather. It's just been too hot for them, although I've tried to shield them as best I can. But hey, we'll keep them going and see if we can get some nice beetroot out of this bucket by the end of the growing year. Carrots. Well, the carrots have really taken off, haven't they? And all I'm doing is watering the bucket, and fingers crossed, yeah, we'll get a good crop of carrots out of this bucket in a few months' time. And carrots, you can definitely grow carrots in these buckets, trust me. Just look at the videos across the channel, have a look at some of the reveals. Yeah, you'll be gobsmacked if you do. Yeah, so carrots, we're okay with these so far. Kohlrabi. This is a first for me, these kohlrabi. One of them looks as though it's actually bolted and gone to seed, so we'll get nothing there. And there's a couple in this bucket. They're only small, they're only frail, I don't know if we'll get anything there. But one of the plants actually looks reasonable, and we may get 1 kohlrabi from this bucket. I don't know whether we'll mark that down as a success or not. Hey, but let's keep them going, let's see what we can get. Lettuce. Well, we've been eating lettuce now for a month from these plants in this bucket. We just take the leaves as we need them. I think you can probably tell from the shape of the plants that we've been taking the outside lettuce leaves and leaving the plants to grow on. And that's what you can do with homegrown veg. Just take what you want, leave the rest to grow on. And I've also planted in between the older lettuce some new lettuce to grow on. So hopefully this bucket will keep us going until we move into the colder months. Turnips. Well, we should be looking at turnips now, but what we're actually looking at is Swedes. How this has come about, I don't know. I don't know. I've either made an error somewhere or lost a bucket. Yeah, I've made an error or lost a bucket. Well, did you enjoy that? That was a new format for me. I don't know whether it'll work or not. Let me know what you think. This is Homegrown Veg, signing out.